Testing, testing, testing. I think we're live. Testing, testing. Oh man, okay, it's so delayed. So look, part two. Another thing I forgot to mention, my internet's awful. Or more particularly my ISP. So who knows? Like I said, I may never do these again. This is mainly a test. Um, yeah, we'll see. I completely lost my train of thought. I believe we were talking about here. Anyway, so this leg's for the consumers. I think we covered that fully. And did I lose my train of thought? I think we covered it. The base, in case anyone's interested. No, it's not perfect. Just kind of winged it on the fly. I store all my little critters in one spot because I like to. Hatches used to be here. I moved them a couple times trying different things. Oxygen. I have a cool slush vent here, cooling bristle blossoms. Wouldn't recommend that. Not the best. And we're kind of going to ignore just about everything. Full volcano tamer, that actually seemed alright, but it barely ran yet. So, I'm thinking I just kind of put it over here, but this water's going to... I remember right, this was cold. Suck some water out. Those things are super thirsty. I have a steam vent over here, like I just don't have a good spot to put anything on this one. Water over there. Oh, you know what? Maybe we'll put it over here. A whole bunch of sand and garbage, but put it down low. So indecisive. This is why I don't do things live like the other guys do. They're really good at that. I don't know how you guys play, but like if you play where you like just pause and think a lot, not alone. Oh, I wanted to put it here, but this water's just gonna be annoying. Like that's probably where I would put it if I was doing it because some perfectionism stuff, but that's just not what works out well. Alright, we're gonna pause. What do these overheat at? 75. That is just no gold on this map. I like gold. Happy about that. It is what it is what it is. The other thing is I want to kind of keep this close proximity. This is my infinite storage. First time trying out this design. Not working too bad. The cooling is a little... But, so maybe we'll do that, and then it'll run down there, and then we'll coal. Burr. Yes, steel. Yes, because. I do have, oh, this is from a gold volcano, that's why. I say I do have that, I think. Yeah, he can reach. It is, we'll make water. Or we'll make water, it'll flow over, flow down here, cool these off, hopefully it comes out cold. I don't know. It's steel. Fall down there, and then we'll need... about keeping slicksters in here, but that's just something that'd be something that I would amend in. Yeah. Now. Oh, so see, we learned from down here. Where's this go? One. Yeah, okay, there we go. Number 2, we learned down here these things flood, so don't put them in water. Also, I have them up here. And surprisingly, these ones didn't flood. But I had trouble trying to set this up with these ones flooding. So let's not put them in the water. Where do I want them? Go out here. Mesh tile, that'll be good. Let's just make this all build. Now this is not like a build that you're going to copy. Like, that's not the point of this. The point of this is to just show something getting built that is kind of realistic. You know what I mean? Well, it's being built by dupes, like realistically built. The build itself might not be fully optimized or something, but it actually getting built, that's real. That's the goal. If that was clear. That will... valid construction location. In case you didn't know, if you hold down shift while you're signing commands, it will go in a straight line like that. Like here, like this. And I can go wild, clean up top, nothing. Holding down shift. Some people know that, some people don't. People that don't are like, thank you. So, thought I'd mention it. Ladder. Ladders, yep. Yep, we'll come down here. Got a liquid lock eventually, I guess. That should work. We'll unpause. To make sure it just gets done first, because I'm gonna watch the rest of the world burn. Actually, I got a lot of food, so it's probably alright. Got a lot of petroleum. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. So, this is one reason why I know other people like to finely tune their stuff. I don't. I like to make my stuff dupe accessible. So this is accessible. I just need to flip some switches. Wrong one. I don't like to use clock sensors for this either, but I had to. Yeah. Okay, so now my dudes can come in here and probably just not going to deal with it. Probably just going to mop it. The right solution is to move these. The solution for today's example, that's not going to happen. So we'll do that. Oh, ideally you'd really have a liquid lock in here. Oh, look, a hatch. I got somewhere for you to go, I'm pretty sure, buddy. Okay, so, yeah, you guys... oh, point, oops, show you guys this. Man, almost forgot streaming for a second. Go off and do my own thing. Sidetracked by the hatch. Oh my. Okay, we need to do this so they don't build themselves in there. One watching. I bet that's me. It's also a surprise, so nobody knew. I don't hold it against you. I'll screenshot. Nice. Just changed my key bindings. Still not used to them. Saved a screenshot. This is the boring stuff that you guys can do, like digging. Right, you know how to dig. But I wanted to get this stuff set up before I go wiring it up and stuff. I want the stuff to be built whenever I show you it wired up. So we put in our batteries, put in our transformers, and then I'll show you why I put them at that spacing and such. It's not a big deal. Like, you can set them up however you want. I've set these things up vertically, where it's like here, something like this: battery, and then on the next floor transformer. That's how I had it set up in my last base. Just however you want to lay it out. It's not a big deal. The layout isn't key. The key is how things are connected, basically, and that's the whole point of the build, is so that you're not getting shoehorned into something like heavy wire and trying to go through walls a certain way and whatever. The point is that regular and conductive wire they have so much use. You can go through walls and whatever, and they're not ugly. Oh, there goes the hatch. See you, buddy. I gotta make sure I'm not muting myself. For anybody watching, let you know later, watching now or later. I don't know if there's anybody now, but anybody watching, please leave comments on how the audio is and other stuff. If you hear clicking, or especially if it's abundant, if I'm too quiet, too loud, whatever. I'm just kind of doing this blind, and I really just decided after supper tonight, boy, I don't remember your name, I'm sorry, the dude on Reddit I mentioned in the last video before the stream died. He was like, oh, you should show everybody, and I'm like, oh, you're like, I don't know, umpteenth person to say that. I'm like, alright, if I'm gonna go in and record as I do it anyway, I don't know, we'll try out the live feature. I really never have saw myself as doing the live feature, so this may be the only time, and it may not even make it to release on the channel. I may re-record this myself. Should have saved this. Done a save, huh? Oh well, I may build a second one somewhere in the base. It's not a big deal, whatever. For anybody who hasn't noticed already, I do have 6 dupes. I run with low dupe count. Allow you. Oh look, someone's stuck. Okay. Okay. Anyway, I do run with a low number of dupes. I like that. It works for me. It works for how I play. If I had 30 of them, I'd just pause even more anyway. I know a lot of you guys run with a whole bunch of guys. I don't. Like, it's fine. It's just differences in play styles. It's not even differences of opinion. It's just differences in what we like. It's fine. It's not a big deal. You can do this with a low number of guys. You can do this with a high number of guys. Not a problem. Oh, we're gonna have to have pipes and stuff, but oh look, I have some convenient oxygen that is not going to overpressure. Oh, no, wait. Whole point of the putting them in the room. See, this is the stuff that you wouldn't see unless it was live. Try to output petroleum generators which don't have a gas output. They need a liquid input, which is right here, which is still off. Why? Okay, these guys don't have access. We gotta fix this. This is a problem. Is that sleeping? Get down in. You can't get down here. Oh. You guys are just too busy with my other thing. That's why you gotta watch your priorities. They can get to doing stuff you don't want or whatever. I like to put it on. Go get some of the other ones in the middle. I like to keep most of my stuff running at about 5 so it kind of stays balanced. I know other people specialize and all sorts of other stuff. You just gotta find out what works best for you, what you like, etc. There she goes. I have a video on the priorities and how the priorities table stacks up. I usually don't mess with mine too much. This one's actually heavily modified for me. I X out a lot of stuff. I X out, if I have a dedicated dupe, I X it out. Cooking, I only want the cooking. Decorating, I like decorate once, so I only want the artist doing it. Research, only want the researcher doing it. Operate is a little different. I have a guy who I like to operate a bunch, but but I have more need, and I'm still figuring out how I like to do that. Farming, I tried concentrating on, like, that's an experiment this time. Ranching, that's an experiment this time. Everybody else kind of keep flat. Toggling, I like to have them be able to flip stuff quickly. So, I like to have my build so that the dupes can get in, because look, fixed it, they're working again. There, we're full on petroleum. This needs off. I do not need plastic at the moment. Now, the key to reverse it. For anybody wondering, this is here solely so they can climb on it. And we're going to turn you back on. And that's the beauty of my petroleum boiler design. On and off. Red signal, red signal. Oh. We're full. Okay. Anyway, heart of a petroleum builder for this guy right here. If anybody wants to see the video on it, turn on and off at your leisure. See how many automation wires I have set to this thing. Just turns it off. Just turns off the heat source. Sit here with the oil for however long you want. You run out of oil. I still got lots of oil. You run out of oil, it'll turn off. Doesn't matter. Okay, back to our build. Kind of should have thought of that beforehand, huh? Want a proper ceiling. Probably not gonna get that corner. Oh well. Okay. So now, as they come in for the ceiling, let's wire this sucker up. So we get power shutoffs. We'll use copper. Here's how I like to do mine. really you can do it however you want as long as it's laid out. As long as the wires and stuff go in the right order. I like to put my batteries with 2 spaces in between for 2 power shutoffs, and then 1 on each side. Just personal preference. Yeah, this just melts it high. Okay, so we... Okay, this is a nitpick. But that will make them run faster. Okay, we'll go back to power. So, typically I'll have, like whenever I run over to a floor or something, so I'll have this main line. So this is my main power line running through. You can see it running down. It runs over here to this gold volcano tamer. It runs here to this temporary, let's call it petroleum. It is temporary. It's getting cool, but the cool slush guys are falling down. It runs petroleum generator. We have some experimenting down here with polluted water that it runs to. It runs down here into my oil biome, picking up stuff from my petroleum boiler. Sorts of great stuff. Is this not hot? Okay, that's fine. It runs everywhere. Okay? Runs here to this flipper. This flipper runs metal refinery, which is temporary, rock crusher, all sorts of fun stuff. So, we're going to hook into this main power wire. Build it out of lead because I have a whole bunch, but you can build it out of regular wire because it doesn't matter. Reachable food, that's not good. Why? Stop that for a minute until make sure they... Okay. So we'll run the regular wire. Now this is your main power wire, right? So the power is going to come in. Okay. Power will come in, go up. Tons of power are going to come in, and it will go up. And now these power shutoffs are going to toggle between charging and charging off the main grid, right here, and discharging. And we'll hook. Not even our consumers, our transformers, I'm sorry. There you go. And once they build it, it'll be wired up. So you gotta watch whenever you're wiring these up, because this will then, if you wire it up like this, they'll start to loop. Like these transformers will start to draw power. And if you have anything else on this line, like, and we'll come back to that in a minute. If you have anything else on this line, then you could overload your main power line. So you don't want to do that. So you gotta watch whenever you hook it up. I like to just pick a point and do everything but one, so it's not hooked in. You could not hook these in here. You could do whatever you want. You could hook up the automation first. I mean, that's the safest way. You just hook up the automation. But so if you build, if anyone doesn't know, if you build like this, two next to each other, so come on, mouse. I know they can't. This guy right here has a power wire, and then this guy right here has a power wire in him. When we come back in later after they've built these, I can just try to build in between the two of them, and it'll just automatically connect them. There actually won't, a dupe won't have to go over to do that. So if you're ever in a situation like that, where you don't want something hooked up yet, but you want it built as best as you can just always do that. So down here we're going to mirror the same thing. We go in through the shut off to the battery, to the other shut off, up, and then over to the transformers, except we're not actually going to hook it in right at the moment. Okay. Then we're going to come up here, up through the power shutoff, over through the battery, power shutoff, hook it up here. Transformers get hooked right into the grid. And now our generators, this is still the main power line, right? Full way along here. They're just going to get hooked into that. Bother me. Hopefully that won't bother me. Hey, that's done. So that's the power wire hooked up. Automation. Oh, I hate that bug. Oh, it went away. Oh yeah, I hit escape. If you hit escape, I guess it goes away. You don't have that problem, but if you get hit by that bug where it draws stuff while you're saving, it used to be really bad. Now it's only slightly bad. Hit escape or let go of your escape before letting go of your click, something like that. You can look it up on the forums or on Reddit. I've seen several people post about how to hopefully avoid it. Otherwise, you're gonna have to like pause the game and go cancel a whole bunch of stuff, or just risk it. So the automation for these is really easy to actually draw. Comprehending the whole concept of how the thing works does seem like magic. Like I know that. Like it was crazy to try and originally understand it. Like you discover something, you're like, this works, but why? I don't know. I can't share it with anybody if I have no idea. People are gonna have questions. To try and understand it to that level, like it takes some doing. But to actually just draw the thing, it's not that hard at all. You need a NOT gate, and you need the NOT gate to control from your you need a controlling smart battery, the one that controls the power from the grid. It needs to be connected with a NOT gate to the side that goes to your transformer flipper. Or if these are consumers, it'll be the side that goes to your consumers. Very similar. If you're used to running a power grid with battery flippers, there was two terms, the flippers, and I forget what the other one. If you're used to running a power grid with either of those, you'll be fine. It's very the same. And then we're also going to hook up this one, which is the input, the power grid side for the alternating battery, the second battery. And then the straight shot signal goes to, now see these coal generators are running. If you're ever building coal generators and you don't want them to turn on right away, build a single automation wire over the port. And you can even do that, build that automation wire there before they turn, like before the generator themselves is even built. Well, that'll shut them off because we don't need them running right now. That's silly. Okay, so from our controlling smart battery, the straight up signal goes into the power shutoff that comes from the power grid. The NOT gate goes into the one that goes to the transformers. Then it's backwards for this one. So the NOT gate goes to the one from the power grid, and then you can snake them over however you want. This is like lazy and easy. This is visually easy. And then the straight signal goes to the one that goes to the transformers. So once this gets in, then we'll be able to hook those up. We're going to go up here and hook these guys up. Building them out of lead, it doesn't really matter. Just make sure they're not going to melt. They shouldn't, hopefully. It'll be alright. Okay. Oh, we're still not done. I'm going to build a conveyor receptacle. It is going to be out of steel just because I have a lot. I have enough metal to run this. Okay, we're gonna cancel this. Ideally, I would have, because that's useless right now. You guys understand the dupes can supply the cold gens if they need to. Really, I would have a, my gosh, what's it called? A receptacle. Really, I would have a receptacle there, and just put coal to it because get a drink before you go on a big explanation. The coal generators are very interesting in how they reply. In fact, resupply. In fact, I have a video on it. Again, if you're interested, but like this little slider bar means some stuff, but the generator also has to be so low. Like it's a pain. They also have to be receiving a green automation signal. So like right now, they'll never be supplied. They're getting red. They don't resupply at all. It's weird. I think there's some mods that change that behavior. I think there's actually one that gives a better slider bar that does something else. But anyway, what that means is if you want a cold gen and you really want it to always run, feed it with an auto sweeper. You put a container nearby or something. You can actually slide these over and space them out one and put a container because the auto sweeper only has to shoot to the middle. So like if this one was bumped over one more, that'd be okay. It wouldn't hit this corner. It doesn't matter. It has to hit the middle. So you can put a container over here. Okay. So we'll just hook up the power. Woo. Okay. Now it's hooked up. We gotta hook it up to our generators now. But this is the one that toggles, it flips. I like to set mine to 80 and 90%. Something consistent. They're like not using any power at all. Oh, there, you'll be using some. So, okay, I know what I was going to say earlier. The consumer ones, I got sidetracked. The consumer ones that power consumes, this top line's, go to the base because it's easier. Okay, I used this before. This is the consumers up here. This is how you get the power out of the system. And these batteries are technically charged by the transformers in the transformer flipper. Excuse me. These are powered by the transformers in the transformer flipper and the generators. Generators that are physically on at that time, like no battery charge, whatever nonsense, like just straight up generators that are running charge these. So what you'll happen is you'll have these peaks where there isn't anything needed because these are full. And then whenever they flip and demand charge, just like you saw there, then it's either taking a little bit off of a generator that's running right now, or it's taking some juice off of these guys, which are out of here, which then will drain as a system, and eventually we'll kick these back on and they'll charge these back up. It's really, it's almost magical. It's definitely hard to understand or to wrap your head around at times. But the ones that do consumers, so it's not always a constant draw. So just because these ones aren't giving out charge or anything, don't be concerned. I do want to make sure that these came on correctly, and I'm looking at the enable by automation grid active thing. You want to be consistent. It either needs to be enabled and active together with, or inactive and disabled together. There is a bug. Again, I have a video on how to try to get around that. I usually just check mine. If these are toggling really, really fast, if you set it to like 99 and 99 or something, and they're blah, 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 real fast, yeah, you'll rip the bug more often than someone who sets it like I do. It still happens. Like, you can get hit with it. These ones are running fine. It's however you want to handle it. It's only if it's flipping. Yeah, these are working. It's only if it's flipping when you save the game and then you happen to actually have to load that save again. So like if it's the last save before you quit for the evening or something. So another benefit of this power grid is that you can actually, boom, power stuff right off of it. Now because I have a conductive wire, you can put up to 2,000 on it. If you were regular wire, of course, you'd have up to 1,000 watts, or aka 1 kilowatt. It is excellent for like temporary stuff. For example, say I want to come down here and I want to like auto sweeper all this stuff or something, have some ship it off, or all down here or something. Oh, this is in my way. I want to auto sweeper, or I come down here where I'm going to store all my polluted water and I want to set up an use auto sweepers to clear this out. You can run the main power line over, run stuff off the main power line up to 2,000. Up to 2,000 watts, 2 kilowatts, or 1,000. It's just depending on your wire. If the whole wire was heavy watt, you could run more, but the whole point of the build is to not use heavy watt wire. So, but it's really convenient, like you have a gas pump somewhere that you want to pump to vacuum or something for a build. Like, it's just so convenient. I used it so much. I used this feature so much when I was in this base in whatever 400 cycles. Just run stuff off of it for a while. I mean, really, if you wanted to permanently run stuff off of it, permanently run some gas pump or something, you can too. Like, I mean, that's up to you. It's just the point is it can run up to the capacity of the wire without issue because it actually is a wire. And it'll just pull from these flippers or the generators. So I'm going to hook up the automation to the generators. It's not hard. Your one battery here is controlling the charge and flipping. See, they're flipping now. Your other battery is going to control your generators. So, I mean, literally draw the wire over however you want, however your layout. Your generators can be up top, your flippers down here, your whatever. Like, if you want to park these in the middle of nowhere and run your automation wire for forever, then, I mean, that's your own choice. You can do whatever you want as long as it's wired up. The physical orientation doesn't matter. It's just the wiring. The wiring is what matters. So we'll hook these in. Those ones are already hooked up. Excellent. Now, right now they're set for 0 and 100, so they're not going to turn on. And this flipping, that's normal. That's what they're doing. They're just passing charge in between. Sometimes the no power icon comes up. I know it's weird. It seems to go away after you load the game one time after building them. Doesn't overload. Doesn't flash icons up here. Not even consistent in putting up an icon down here. I really don't see it as a problem, especially for the benefits you get. Oh my gosh, I should have been running a petroleum line, because I am actually going to power this off the petroleum generators. Don't anticipate coming back and playing this base, but if I did, I'd actually like it to work. Now, I use the transformer flipper the entire time when playing this base, straight up from the beginning. Not a problem. I'm not going to show that to you guys because I play a lot slow, a lot slower than you guys, a lot of you guys at least. And oh my, it'll be hours. You don't need to watch hours. Like, who knows how long this is already going to go. I'm already probably over an hour. I don't know how long I messed with settings before I turned it on, but like, I don't need to show you hours worth of stuff to understand how it's going to work. In the beginning, you don't even need 2 transformers, and quite frankly, I don't right now. I did it for the heck of it so that I could show you guys in screenshots. Somebody asked for a screenshot, and I'm like, well, I might as well show the guy too. That way he doesn't think it only works with one. You know what I mean? It was just because I could. I actually started to have metals. Then I decided to then make more transformers. Like, that's how it goes, right? You're like, oh, I don't need this, but I'm going to build it anyway. So in the beginning, I straight up power your base with wheels or whatever with a regular wire and battery and stuff, just like you always would. Switch to coal generator, same thing, regular wire, just like you always would. Whenever you start wanting to split off into different circuits, start wanting to put in smart batteries. You can even put smart battery with a single coal generator. It's whenever you start really needing that conductive wire, or basically you start splitting in circuits, that's whenever you want to start putting these in. And it'll be battery, battery, transformer. It'll be that part. You don't need the second transformer. And then that will run your generator. Now you can run one set of generators just fine with this. So like your starter one may look like 2 coal generators, smart battery transformer. That's okay. Like, that works. That's how it's designed to be. It scales down that low. It's fine. And then as you scale up, you say, oh, I start running electrolyzers, and now I have hydrogen, right? Well, now your hydrogen generator, battery, transformer, hydrogen generator. Set up the exact same way. One battery controlling the flipping, or the power toggling, you know. Other battery controlling the generators. And you do this for each set of generators. So, like, this grid will work perfectly fine with petroleum, coal, my hydrogen's up here, lumber down here if I wasn't out. I have, here's a good example, I have coal hooked to the same line, same automation line as these wood burners. It doesn't matter. If you want them to turn on at the same time, hook them together. It's okay. This smart battery comes on at 10 and runs up to 40. When that happens, it'll kick on 2 coal generators and 5 wood burners if I have wood, and I don't. Like, that's okay. You can mix and match these as you want. Hey, we finished it. Okay. Now, how do I... So, I have 2 options when it comes to syncing these batteries. You can either try and sync all your transformer flippers together, so they're very, very close. Or you can just say, and wing it, and run the percentage of the generator comes on at some relative, whatever. So if you're like an exact kind of person, you're going to want to do what I'm going to show you here in a minute. And if you're not, you're just going to want to go, well, the generator should probably come on right now. That looks at about 50%. We'll tell them turn on 50%. Even though this battery set over here might read 80%. You can absolutely wing it if you want. If not, we're going to pause. The easiest way, get everything all synced up together, 99%. And you only have to do this on your, you only have to do it on your generator ones. You're not going to do it on your consumers, because they're just pulling power out of the system for your consumers. They don't have to be synced, and they won't be synced. Yeah, and this is only for your free, your generators that you want to turn on and off. We'll talk about generators that you just want to run wide open here in a minute. These have 99%, and they'll do this. Oh, I don't have enough generators turned on. You also have to make sure that your dang generators will turn on. So now that we're going to switch this over. So I want my hydrogen to definitely run, but I want some room for my generators that are always running, like my steam turbines for volcano tamer and crap. So we'll run 80 to 90 for this. So at 80%, it'll start using hydrogen, but it shuts off at 90. That way that it keeps from 90 to 100, so the steam turbines' power isn't wasted. Then I want to run petroleum because this is an oasis and I have a petroleum boiler and there's lots of petroleum. So the hydrogen shut off at 80, so we'll make, or they turned on at 80, sorry. We'll make these guys shut off at 80, we'll make them turn on at 60. Now these are my coal generators, they're going to be my backups because the ones over by my ladder are in the way. And we're going to get rid of them. So got 80 and 60 for the petroleum gens, and the coal gens are going to run go with 30 and 50. So the coal won't kick on until 30. Don't put your coal at 0 if you're feeding it with an auto sweeper, by the way, because your auto sweeper probably won't have power depending on how you set up your power. That would be bad. 30 and 50. And in fact, what we're going to do, we're going to run this bad boy to 100 right now. And then what this did is this guaranteed I'm outputting way too much power, and it charged all the batteries. Or it will. You give it a minute. Apparently I'm using more power than I thought. Okay, there we go. They're okay. They don't have any power. Or, jeez, fuel. Okay, so now everything's synced. So, oh, that's what the problem is. Guess you can set them to it. You gotta lower that one first. You can set them to 100 if you want. But I picked 99 for some silly reason. I can't run the slider. Okay. So these guys are full, 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 full. Graphical glitch. Power available 20. Was interesting. Okay. 20. See, now everything, all these batteries are full. These ones are all synced. These are the ones you want synced, by the way. The second one, the one that controls the generator. And if you didn't run as long of an automation wire, I guess I should have flipped these. And this one should be the controlling, and this one should be the one for the generators, but it doesn't matter. So now, so to sync them all, just run the threshold up to max on these ones. On the toggling ones, you just run it to the same value on all of them, like literally 99, 99, 100, 100, whatever you want. So then you set this back to your toggle value. Copy settings. How I like to do it. So make sure they're all the same. There you go. Now everything's synced. Now these are all going to toggle at the same time. Now they're not exact. They will not be the exact same value. They will not be the exact same value. They might turn on and off, especially for a little while, but they're not going to be the exact same. But what they will be is extremely close, and that's all that matters. I mean, we're giving them the threshold of 30 to 50. This one was 60 to, I don't know, 80, I think. So it's not like if it's at like 83, like it's really that big of a deal, and you can set your tolerances different if you absolutely must. Traditionally, you're going to set the thing that you don't want to come on, you're going to set it as last, right here. Well, I don't even know as we need a liquid lock in here. I guess if we don't want the pressure to be crazy. But it's already kind of crazy out there, so we'll leave it for now. Ideally, you'd sweep this up in the whole 9 yards, and again, this isn't 100% perfect, optimized, whatever. Let's just show you guys how to set it up and build it. So there you go. Now, this is hooked into the grid. It runs. I might have to turn something on. Do quick disable one, sure they're not used. Do. That's why it's not working. I need toggle. And see how it's toggling. What's supposed to do even though it's not getting used. That's what it does. It's just passing the charge around, and it can think of it easily as it passes it between itself. But I mean, it's still, come on motor. It's still hooked into the grid, so it's passing it through the whole grid. But this one's draining, this one's charging, so they're basically making a loop. 110% how it works, but that is how you can envision it. And then these guys are set to 80 to 90, but they're not down there yet, so they're not toggling. In fact, this one. So that's how they toggle. That works. We gotta get these drained so then they start charging. And you can see, like, so this one's flipping. But it goes between, what is it, like 16 to 20. And once these ones start flipping, because they're not flipped right now, once these ones start flipping, they're going to go in the same range. So they're not like, they're not all synced. This one. They're not all like synced. Oh no, that's okay, that's my oxygen. But they're not designed to be synced. They're designed to be very close. So close that we can use them in this manner to control what generators come on when. So the hydrogen's going to come on first. You've seen that the hydrogen has been running. And these petroleum generators, but they aren't running. This one's not even barely pulled down. I gotta turn something on. This is a lot, right? Yeah. Make me 15 of those. I'll turn stuff on. Oh, so the constant power stuff. Okay. So here's my steam turbine. It is for my petroleum boiler. Its sole purpose is to suck out heat. Oh, it's still too hot. Its sole purpose is to suck out heat. I do not want my steam turbines turning off. If you are using them to generate power, yeah, you might want them turned off. But if you're just using them for heat deletion, you don't want them turned off, which means that they're going to run all the time, or they can run all the time, depending on if there's heat to be deleted. Well, if that's the case, they're going to be outputting power. This one's 360-ish watts, and this one's, what, 300? I like self-cooled turbines, by the way. If you didn't know that, run their output behind them up to 140 C steam. Self-cool. This is a little different because I have two of them in the same room. Can tolerate a hair above, but so these guys are making power. Like I got like, I don't know, 600-700 watts of power, let's say, right here, maybe 750. We'll call it 700. I got 700 watts of power all the time. May be overproducing. Like I may be overproducing for some of my needs right now. Probably not, because these take a bit. But you can just You can just literally hook these right into the main power line. Like, this is the main power line coming down here. I have two lines. This one's consumers. See, this goes into the smart batteries. This is the main power line on the left. It runs the whole way down here. And you can literally hook it right into the steam turbines, which is like amazing. You don't need to get heavy watt wire into here because this doesn't transfer heat. I've been experimenting with this method. Seems to work okay. But this doesn't transfer heat out. So like this hydrogen is 99 degrees and this crude oil is 73 and out here this carbon dioxide is 93. Like there's no heat transfer from this room out. If you try to get heavy wire in here, now you're going to need one of these bridges, a heavy watt bridge, and then that thing's going to conduct heat. So then you're going to need to have, let's go out here, you're going to need to have like one of these things going on, and then putting like vacuum in between it, and like it just gets to be a complete mess. Not with this build or this design. You can just run the wire straight in, and these overheated. Oh my gosh. Again, like, bad idea. Don't put your smart batteries down here. But, good idea to have dupe access, because I can get in and fix these if I really wanted to. I would rip them out. Like, you can just run wire in, and you're like, oh, I'd like a smart battery for a flipper for down in here for a pump. Both these pumps run off of here. And my polymer press. It's just so convenient to just run a single wire, and now that we have lead everywhere, you can run lead as long as it's not going to overheat. It's just amazing. It's faster to build conductive or regular wire. It's faster to build than heavy watt wire. It's not ugly. There you go. Negative 30. Oop. Negative 30 on the ladder. It's due to, or 45. It's due to insulated pipe and ladder. Not conductive wire. Positive. None of that jazz. 5. It's 80. Oh, that was the dupe. Wire pull ladder, insulated liquid. Like, heavy watt wire is negative 25 with a 6-tile radius. So that means that, like, negative 25, negative 25, negative, like, it compounds to, like, I don't know, 300 or something ridiculous. Just because there's so much in that 6 range that they all add together. But with conductive and regular wire, the decor penalty is minimum. So not only do you have like no decor issues, it's also cheaper and faster to build and can go through walls. It's the downside is you need smart batteries. You would have needed transformers anyway. It's not that big of a deal, and you do save on the wire. So, I mean, it's definitely a criticism, but it's not a big criticism. And it's definitely not detrimental. I had tried the power design that I had ran before was a battery bank. That was detrimental to my, it was like a regular wire design, similar to this, except it used a central battery bank, and then like all the generators had to run into it, or all the generators had to be parked next to the battery bank. That used up so much material, so much space. It's so much easier. Oh my gosh, that's why everything isn't working. If any developers are watching this, I would like my cancel and my deconstruct button to remember my building's checkmark between loading saves. Oh my gosh. There you go. Look, everything's flipping now. So it won't be 110% synced. But if we wanted to resync it again, 100%, make sure that something is jacked up here and running. Some generator is running enough to overpower all the consumption and make sure all the batteries charge, and we'd be fine. That might be it. Cover. I know people wanted to see how this was built. I think it showed that it's not that bad whenever the understanding is very weird. Almost magical. That's okay. I feel the same way. The building of it is not that hard. You can wrap your head around the building of it. You have a main wire coming in. It has to go through a power shutoff, a battery power shutoff, and mirrored again for two of them. They hook together, go into two transformers, and the transformers go back into the main power grid. The automation wire, a NOT gate to the output side of the original battery. The input side, the side from the grid, get the side from the grid just gets the straight signal, and then you use the opposite. So the side going out to the consumers on the other battery gets the straight signal, and then the one from the power grid gets the NOT gate. And that battery toggles the power back and forth to keep things balanced and monitored and such. And the second battery, that's what you use to control your generators. That's what you set your battery numbers for down here. So, sorry, I really apologize for that. It's a bug. There was one guy who had a very good little video on it. It's just his fix wasn't 110%. But the guy was a small channel. If you happen upon it, give the dude a like. He was, I don't know, it's something about mouse cursor and you set the trail to 88 or something and it bugs out and it sidetracked. Anyway, this battery, the second battery, is what you use to control your petroleum generator. Petroleum generators, in this case, coal, whatever. It controls your generators. Tells them to turn on and off when they're needed. It's not that hard to build. Once you see it, I think now you guys got between the pictures and the original video. I do have pictures on the clay forms. If you guys are having trouble with understanding, there's, and I forget your name. I think it's like TOFOF or something. He did a great alternative text explanation where he explained it himself and like from a different perspective, a different manner. And it really helped with anybody, other people who were having trouble understanding the original video. So I encourage you to go read that if you were still having trouble. The clay forms, we have a topic on it, and in Reddit as well. There was a topic, there was discussion, there was a thread and some discussion about it. If you have, if anybody still has any questions about it, feel free to hit me up if you see me on Reddit. The clay forms, I'm not over there a whole bunch. I'm over there to report bugs at times. I do pop in and cruise every once in a while, but I'm on Reddit all the time. Send me a PM on Reddit. It doesn't matter. I'd love to help you get it sorted out. Or I hate to see somebody struggling. I think this really covered how to build it, how it works. It's not that bad to build, and then you can build these wherever you want. If you want one clean up in the corner up here and you want to drop some, your saltwater geyser makes power or something. I don't know, there, oil. If you want to plop an oil well up here or something and cook oil or something, and you want to make power up here, you can. You just run your power wire up, you put in a transformer flipper, not a problem. Compared to, the alternative is a heavy wet wire. I'm going to see if there's no chat. That's it. Some people had asked about the petroleum boilers and had been at times very challenging. Yeah, build it or something. Like, obviously this cooling solution is not ideal. But wait for it to load. But the boiler itself is solid. I use this boiler every single time, and I experiment with cooling solutions, and Sometimes they're just not that great. And it happens. And that's what I find entertaining, and that's what I get value out of. If you would like to just have something solid, probably some kind of counter snaking heat exchanger. Some kind of heat exchanger where you run radiant pipe up through different levels. Would probably work out all right, different levels of the petroleum, and as the oil comes in, it warms. Or you run, in this case, I'm running it off of a metal refinery. I have a nice, crazy little loop there and a buffer. But my metal refinery makes my oil hot, and then I put hotter oil in here, and then cook it up, and I just cool it with steam turbines. Um, if you want something easy, if you literally like made this one tile high, or two with temp shift plates, and just put 2 steam turbines under here, they can like doors to make sure it doesn't come in until it's down to a certain temp. That's pretty simple. But you can experiment with whatever cooling you like to do, however you want to do it. This up here, this is solid. No sour gas. So nice. You can shut it off. Right now it's shut off, I think based on this guy. Yeah. So like right now, I have too much petroleum, and I set this value. I'm like, tell you what, turn off if you made too much petroleum. Turn off if there's too much petroleum in here. Turn off. Okay. If there's too much petroleum in here, this is like it fills up. This is like stage 1 cooling. This is like stage 2 cooling. I know, not the best design. I've had something like this that worked better before, but which is why I was able to shoehorn this in, because I knew it would work. Just to make the play work. I don't use that much petroleum, so it didn't really matter. I was just playing with it. Now, people have been asking how to hook into the Magma. This is diamond window tiles. And like I showed on the video how it chained these really long, this is how far I've chained mine. I like to tap into a big pocket of magma and then just not worry about it. And what I did is, this was a tinier pocket of magma, and I dug these 2 out and connected them. These are obsidian won't melt in magma, if you didn't know that. So you can make obsidian ladders. Your dudes will get hurt, but just go in really fast and they'll be fine. Enough. But if you use your room overlay, it tells you how big the room is, and that's a big pocket of magma. So it'll way outlast before I get bored with this map, obviously. But all you do is just build a whole bunch of diamond window tiles. If you tap into the magma from vacuum, you'll be fine. I have sealed it off here with insulated tile just because I'm safe. You don't even need to seal it off, but in case something weird happens. I went ahead and did it anyway. Just deconstruct it and back in again if I need to. You just build a whole bunch of diamond window tiles up to your steel door or tungsten or space stuff. And then you're good. The steel door controls temperature transfer. Steel door shut offable by all this stuff. It's very, very robust, and it allows me to experiment with different inputs and different cooling solutions, and I find that interesting, and that's what I enjoy in the game. So I'm very happy that I can experiment with different cooling solutions. Like, even though this one's busted, it makes me happy that I got to try something different. This part though, and then I guess this is technically part of it, is super solid. Always drops just the right amount of oil. I mean, within reason, you know what I mean. It doesn't drop too much. Drops perfect amount of oil, spills over perfectly fine, doesn't overheat. Temperature controls fine. All sorts of stuff. Stops if it runs out of oil and stuff. Lately I've been liking using oil in my refinery and then cooking off into petroleum, which is all this here. And you can see, oh, this is still full. Haven't been using it. I don't use it fast enough, so it works for me. But if you want to do other stuff, This thing handles whatever temp oil you throw at it. It's just a matter of how much magma heat are you going to chew through. Give it really hot oil, you're not going to chew through much magma. If you give it really cold oil, like freezing or something, like Sandbox spawns it in at, it'll go through magma a lot faster. But it still works. And you can give it whatever's hot enough. Oil boils at, what is it, 403 degrees. Yeah, it says that there's some, the game makes you go a hair higher for consistencies. So it boils at 403 degrees. If there's anything 403 degrees, you hook it to this diamond tile right here, which is hooked to the door, it will make petroleum. It might be slow. It definitely will be slower than magma. But if it's like, I think it has to be 405 degrees based on heat transfer. Close. The point is, it doesn't have to be as hot as magma. If it's 500 degrees, let's say, it'll suck the heat out and turn it into petroleum. It's just a matter of, can you supply that 500 consistently enough. If like this is a real big problem, I can show another video like this, which I think has become very rambly and sidetracked. But if people want to see that, I could show another one building this. This isn't very hard. The hardest part here is just making vacuum, really. And Tony Advanced has an excellent video on the different ways to make vacuum. It's not just pumps. You can actually build tiles in. In fact, that's what I did with this one, which is very interesting. Most of this was solid. So there was like 2 pockets maybe. I had went in and taken those 2 pockets and filled them up with tiles. And then I came back through and put a liquid lock in, actually multiple liquid locks, which I had to move. That was interesting. I put 3 liquid locks in for the varying access points, and then went in and excavated the entire thing out. And whenever you excavate out tiles, it leaves it as a vacuum. And it worked really well. And he showcases that really well in his video on vacuums. He also covers pumps. But vacuum is the trickiest part of this, and it's once you learn how to do vacuum, really it's not that bad. Even if you don't understand, you can hook a pump to it inside. As long as you have a liquid lock and it's sealed, the pump will get it eventually. So it's not very hard at all to set this up. If that's something that people are interested in the future, maybe I'll do one of those. But anyway, this is an experiment. If you liked it, let me know. If you didn't, let me know. If there were audio or video or whatever issues, let me know. I know it's 2 parts. That's awful. That's the way my internet is. Rural America, the only people I can deal with. If you want to see, I don't know, more of my base or other stuff or whatever. I would love to hear what kind of content you guys want to see. And if you like this live thing or not. I know it is very rambly and very much the opposite of the normal kind of videos that I do, the short and to the point ones. But the subject also dictated a little bit of that. Obviously, I could edit this down a lot. And I very well may redo it if it comes out awful. So for anyone who might have been watching live, if you don't see it again, that would be why. I got everything. That's how much of the map I revealed before I got bored. Yeah, I can't think of anything else at the moment. If I do, I'll try to pin it as a comment or something. You guys got any further questions? Hit me up in the comments. Find me on Reddit. Ask me there. You see me the comments on Reddit, feel free to ask me. Like, I don't care. I'll respond. I think that's it. All right. I gotta shut it down. So yeah. Oh, If you like this video, please hit the like button. That helps a lot. And consider getting subscribed if you like my stuff. I have more videos planned in the future. Always more videos planned. More videos than time. But more stuff coming in the future. So get subscribed if you like my stuff. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate all the likes and subscribes and everything and stuff that you guys have been giving back. And the Oxygen community is just amazingly positive and very nice. I've never been in such a nice online community where people are like nice to each other and positive and encouraging and reinforcing. You guys are like super cool and very smart. Some of you guys are